gentlemen, girls, boys, anyone in between, to Tyranny. Oh, I've heard so much good stuff about this game. I've heard that you can be really naughty in this game. So, we're going to see how naughty we can be. This is going to include the tutorial. So anyone that might be curious about the game but hasn't played through a tutorial yet can see what it's like and whether it's the kind of thing they'd like. So I'm imagining this kind of a Baldur's Gate, Pillars of Eternity type of affair. Party-based, isometric. Well, I do have very big hands. So, what are we going for? Cool, I love me a good character creation. So, women enjoy equal protections under the laws. Wow, they got better laws than we have then. We need a proper grimace. Yeah, I've never been one for shaven heads. No offense, any ladies that have shaven heads. It's quite nice. No pink. I find your lack of pink disturbing. That looks badass. Right, let's have a nice portrait. God, it's got a few to pick between. Right, how do we join the army? We were diplomats. Primary expertise. So Vigor are granting bonuses on yourself and allies, and Atrophy is more about draining skills and abilities of enemies. Shock and Frost, unarmed. +3 subterfuge, that's really good. I don't really want to be challenged, I'm sorry. Should we go for some shocky spells? Or Frost, we could slow everyone down. Yeah, let's slow everyone down. Okay, so that's primary. Secondary expertise. Frost and Vigor. So we can buff our team. Now my problem with these games, is always you go for a build, and then one of your first people that you bump into has the same build as you, and there ends up being two of you, which is kind of annoying. Red with pink trim. How about blue? Because we are frosty mages. Black. Black's a lot slimmer. Okay, what kind of banner do we like? No love hearts. That's a shame. Oh, here's one. Here we go. Lovely. Oh, I love a good RPG. Okay, so these are my primary abilities: wits, resolve, and might. So I definitely want more wits and resolve and might. Quickness and vitality. We don't want to be masters of everything. So resolves for frost. That's frost and vigor. And that's vigor. So if we double up on wits, that should benefit 2 sets of spell casting. Magic staff. Control frost. Dodge. Training in frost. Okay, sure. And law, frost and vigor. Okay, let's lose a couple of those. That's nice and balanced. I like that. Good. Okay. How do you want to continue? Selecting conquest allow you to play through Kairos Conquest of the Tears. Choosing how your character was involved in the invasion. Wow, yeah, I definitely want to see all of that. I'm here for the story. Oh, bring it on. I've been waiting for this game for such a long time. The city stood on the northern border between Corus, Semper, and Matias. The city was a nexus of commerce. To Matias, it was the centre of all wealth. To a northern, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Corus' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in the armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the tiers. Kairos' will is unsurmountable. Okay. Gates of Judgment or infiltrate the tiers. Both armies sent their forces. Prepare the way. Let's go for the mountain, shall we? Okay, what's this? Join the battle alongside the Disfavoured or the Scarlet Chorus. Well, Scarlet Chorus seem to have more men. Disfavoured seem to be a bit more bluey. Let's have more bluey. We're going to base our judgments based on the colours that they wear. Oh, dear. You found a way to feed Corus's armies in enemy territory. Decide of the fate of the enemy soldiers captured in battle. Yes, please. The soldiers of the tiers fell by the hundreds, and Corus's armies could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to the camp. Befitting of your role, the commanders turned to you to decide fates of those occupied in prison pens. There are only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. Enslave the enemy. Conscript the enemy. No, we're enslaving them, baby. We're going to see how bad we can be. It is favoured needed slaves to haul their gear, dig latrines, and keep their pallets warm at night. You consign the survivors to battle to their subservient role among Graven Ash's noble troops. Wounded and demoralised by prior defeat, the soldiers of the tiers put up minimal resistance to their new status in Corus's military. But disfavoured enjoy the luxury of putting others to work, but didn't allow themselves to grow soft, turning away from menial duties and focusing instead on the rigorous training regimen that left them alert and eager for combat. You gave for Tia's slaves their first assignment, digging a mass grave outside the Gates of Judgment, where a cloud of flies marked the passage of Kairos' army. The armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first bastion of the tiers to fall. Both armies longed to storm a walled outpost. The Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder and the disfavoured forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both the armies have inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which do you support? Well, let's see what's behind door number one. Door number one, assault the main gates. Door number two, burn the city. Door number three, sabotage the city's defences. Let's burn it. You join the Scarlet Chorus in setting fire to the city and blocking the gates. The defenders would surrender or burn. Searing Palm. Right click for details. It's passing strange to barricade the very gates you sought to cross, but it all made sense when the fires began. The Scarlet Chorus sent a constant rain of flaming arrows over the walls, a plague that lasted through long days and tireless nights. By the end, the blaze was too much for the city defenders to contain. Citizens crowded at the gates, pleading to be freed from their smouldering city. You and your army were happy to oblige them. When the gates opened, they opened from inside. Well, they didn't say how we were to take the city. So, every tower displayed Corus' banner. Your name was whispered among Saruma's decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tudon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Corus' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lefian's Crossing, or as a war advisor to the armies advancing to the realm of Apex. So, deposits of iron in this settlement, or Apex. The troops of the mountain realm stood idle in the safety of their valley. Well, I'd prefer to be a judge and overseer than a war advisor, please. being a little bit naughty means we can also be a little bit lazy. Lefian's Crossing. Years ago, Lefian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of the ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lefian's Crossing drew Kyrus' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kyrus' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavoured with the finest weapons in the known world. The iron must flow. He found a clever solution to improve production of iron weapons and armour. The Archer's song's power ensnared the mind of a disfavoured soldier. Well, that sounds much more interesting. Siren. Archer's song used her arcane charm to lure locals into joining Kyrus' army. As a patron of the Scarlet Chorus, her efforts were critical in the conscription of new recruits. When the enthralled, disfavoured soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archer was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. Don't understand why that's bad. When an enthralled, disfavoured soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archer was growing out of control. So, why is that important to me? Well, what's the Vanguard? I don't like the idea of destroying this if it's recruiting for us. Let's Okay, yep, that sounds perfect. So we're sending the latest batch to the front lines. Anyone that survives will stand as testimony to the effectiveness of Siren's conversion. So in the weeks to come, more of them return to active duty than even Siren herself expected, likely owing to their obsessive devotion to their Archon and her enchanting music. A red anvil, a forge-bound mage swore allegiance to the Scarlet Chorus, creating strife between the armies. Ancient threats. Who protected the city from the attacks of arcane predators? Well, this sounds much more interesting. One of Kyrus' smith mages swore allegiance to the Scarlet Chorus, jealously hoarding the secret of iron forging. His favourite demanded the smith's immediate return. The Scarlet Chorus insisted that they were within their rights to take allegiance from any source. Tempers flared, and the forges cooled as their arguments stalled productivity. So raise his mind. Since Kyrus' law dictated that the secrets of iron be granted only to smith mages, you'd ruled that the new recruit's mind be erased of all memory. With no memory of smelting or forging, a recruit would be a smith mage no more. You enlisted from among the more deviant arcane practitioners to destroy the new colleague's mind. They assaulted the recruit with a combination of spells typically reserved for torture and interrogation, stripping away his sense of self until nothing remained but an obedient servant ready to serve Kyrus on the field of battle. Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Nerat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kyrus' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front. As the disfavoured and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility towards each other, Tunon decreed it best that only one force control the crossing. So, I'm not sure which one of these I like better. I've not been following who's... They seem equally despicable. So I'm not sure which one to go for. I'm going to stick with my original choice of a disfavoured. Disfavoured placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lefian's Crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police a small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmith became a true agenda for the defence force. As these magical craftsmen kept the disfavoured invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lefian's Crossing felt they got the least of 2 burdens. Ah, damn it. You received word from a great Gravenash thanking you for their decision. The forge bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Nerat. So the other guys are the worst evil. Right, what we've got here is Ur. So we congregated ourselves, bringing orders to a settlement. Lovely. Over the course of this diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure, Stalwart, or the Vellum Citadel. So it's a library fortress. Well, Stalwart sounds a bit like hard work. Azure sounds lovely. But let's go to a Vellum Citadel. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by other major realms. Legend said the citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to a great library fortress and force the scholars to yield to Kairos. Perfect. Just what we need. A peaceful surrender turned bloody. Siren song ensnared some stealthy stages. Try saying that 3 times really quickly. Siren, Archon of Song, used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavoured began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge, a crime under Kairos' laws with the Scarlet Chorus. Punish the disfavoured. He punished the disfavoured for executing mages bound to the Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavoured soldiers be given to the Archon of Song as her personal bodyguards. The wisdom of the sages and knowledge of Vellum Citadel were too important to silence. The disfavoured balked at entering the Archon's services, but your ruling left them with no recourse. Archon Siren, delighted in having new toys to play with, and promptly enthralled her personal guard. You spotted them in camp days later, following their new mistress with wide-eyed devotion. She sounds like a good ally. Suspicions arise when sages surrendered. Siren composed songs of strength and provoked a bloody slaughter. Oh yes. The Archer's song incited Scarlet Chorus recruits to fight their leaders. Bosses were killed and supplanted left and right. Disfavoured demanded an end to the practice for the good of the conquest. We'll honour the right to challenge, thank you. You ruled that each Archon have the right to govern their armies according to their nature. The right of command bred chaos, but it also ensured that the strongest rose to lead. Your keen understanding of their ways pleased and surprised the Scarlet Chorus detachment, who thanked you for the ruling. The following evening, 2 gang bosses were murdered in their pallets and replaced by stronger variants who fought hard to defend their status. Though the camp grew quieter over time, the chorus fought with twice the ferocity under new leadership. Wow, we're turning into Apocalypse. The Edict of Fire, disgusted by your approbation of the Scarlet Chorus, the disfavoured forces withdrew from the field of battle. Your small detachment now lacked the manpower to take the Vellum Citadel. Tunon sent word that Kairos' patience would run thin. The Overlord would cast an Edict of Fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You have the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee. Well, I think it's going to be sunrise then, isn't it? Opting to give the enemy no quarter, you proclaim the edict of fire at the first moments of dawn, granting the enemy no warning of the destruction to come. Though the chorus insisted on your actions doomed their spies, the disfavored approved of your decision. You read the edict as the new sun rose behind the citadel, casting a long shadow in its wake. You were the last person to see that hall of knowledge the moment before the devastation. The earth shook, and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up under the library, a torrent of lava headed with explosive force, heaved with explosive force, gushing from the windows and between loose bricks, melting hostile trenches in the surrounding land. The mages awoke to smoke and fire. For most, it's already too late. Only a handful of bewildered mages escaped the smouldering collapse of a massive library fortress. Kyros's will be done. Indeed. Well, we're doing well so far. The enemies of Kairos left devastation in the Vellum citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears come to know once noble citadel as a burning library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life, but a message should be sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have too long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno. The last gasps of survivors, or perhaps looters. You have reached the end of Kyros's conquest. Do you wish to continue or erase your progress and start over? I wish to continue, please. Let's see what that does. Wow, it's a very text-heavy beginning. I didn't expect that at all. Reminds me of the beginning of Dragon Age, where you're kind of picking your story, which is going to... Yay! Finally! We've been expecting you. Right. Watch for windows. Fine. Law and reactivity? Okay. Kairos, the Overlord, be praised. When I heard the avalanche, the fear valley was sealed with you on the other side. A disfavored warrior clasps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional suit of her legion. So we gained favour with disfavoured. Okay, so basically all of this is going to give me tooltips. So the commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lithian's Crossing would be coming, but since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices of Nerat. She catches herself, clearing her throat with a smile. I mean, meditate with the Archons, so we might agree on a plan to wipe out those Oathbreakers. So she's disfavoured. I think we're going to glare silently. Or we could use Law 20. Can you hear that? The hum in the air, that glow around the rocks. The avalanche is Kairos' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley. Your senses see more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things. But if that was Kairos' magic and you're here on an important business, well, you don't have to be the Archer on the secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisted bones? So edicts are Kairos' most powerful magic. So what we did to the library. I'm not sure if I do have an edict of Kairos. I come bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. The edict is levelled against us. Her eyes widen with fear, her posture slackens. But the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of... She clears her throat with a sigh. Forgive me, it's not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in this valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. Your first instinct is to blame the Scarlet Chorus. No wonder Kairos resorts to an edict to enforce order. That will confuse her. Yes, well, her eyes shift to the side. There has indeed been little goodwill between our armies, and you're right. When we act as we do, what choice do we have to give the Overlord? She takes a deep breath, nodding as she exhales. And you're right, I should not cast blame so freely, especially not when talking to a servant of justice. My apologies. Well, you've travelled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you. Did you hear that? More runners. Third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. They're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Tyranny uses pausable real-time combat. Okay, so it's very similar to Baldur's Gate. Characters are going to perform basic attacks using their equipment or new abilities. So what we got? We've got Searing Palm, Titan's Touch, Frozen Grasp, or Thrust. So this is our party AI. Stealth Toggle. Select everyone. It's just myself, my formations, and my camping. Okay. Good. Got our map down here. Can't cast your spell. Why on earth not? Left click on the ability or icon. Done. Cursor will change to indicate your mouse is a valid target. So that's not a valid target. That is a valid target. I don't want to attack them though. That's my friend. I'd like to use that one on them. I can't do that either. Can I use that one to attack? Weird. Don't seem to be able to use spells. Oh, there we go. And he's got some whetstone and a potion of protection. Lovely. Okay. So that's my level. That's my journal. So that's my favour with all of the different parties. Spell creation. I won't get into that one right now. Okay. Interesting. You're not going to use that spell. Well, it's quite tricky. Okay, it only seems to like doing that on members of my team rather than my allies. Attack her, please. Thank you. So you don't click on them, you actually click on the base of them. Better. No looty looty. You okay? Don't bother with me. Go down to the pass. Drastus, the soldier, clutches his gut and winces. You can see a hint of entrails between his fingers. I don't have time for this. Go on, Graven Ash is with me. Who's fighting who? A young Scarlet Fury weaves around with an Venedrian guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. Scarlet Furies are elite fighters of a Scarlet Chorus. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance at her countryman. This one's crazy. Too much to lead in her water. Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back. Sure. Why not? Hey, we've now got two of us. Excellent. Right, what's she got? That means I can do my buff. Here we go. Buffy Buffy. Have some frosty frosty. Why am I tanking? I'm not the tank. You tank, woman. A fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods in satisfaction. I don't understand why we're fighting each other. Okay, well, it looks like we're allied with this one. Scarlet Fury helm, scroll, and hide. Any more? Okay, so where's our inventory? Where's that helm gone? I thought I just picked up a helm. Oh wow, it's like different weapon sets. So she's got a bow as well. That's handy. Where's that helm gone? Okay, worry about that later. Tarkis Demos, eyes forward and no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warriors roars with his forks held high, his words largely lost over the dinner combat. Stand aside or your funeral will be over the side of a bluff. Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. There is no escape, and for oath breakers, no surrender. Okay, you guys are oath breakers, that's fine. I'll kick your ass. Then we'll settle this with bronze. You fools don't know when to stop. I like that. Reinforcements, hurry! Run down the oathbreakers, let none escape. From a red mob of reinforcements to the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of a rebel. The ornaments crest of her staff, pulsing with crimson tones. Mocking blaze. Signing signals of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter describes a series of spells in the air. Red glow surrounds the Venedrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Nice. Hold position, all of you. You there, keep to the path. No, don't engage them. We need to run. Companion first joined your party. Yes, I had noticed. There are now 2 characters. Yes, I had noticed. So where's the AAI button, man? If you right click on the AI button, where is the AI button? Is it that one there? Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy for you to have AI when I'm not controlling you. Verse has several stance abilities. Red Geezer. Minus 10 dodge. Fight aggressively, lowering parry and dodge defenses. We have Seeking Sheath, which is plus 10 accuracy, good for our bows. Free Whispers. So this will be good because we're going to be using her as our tank until we get someone a little bit more more tanky as such. So you come and attack this one first. I'm going to head up the hill. And I'm also going to take one of my potions. Right, let's see what we've got. Ow! Wowzers. I need you to get on him, please. Blimey, that was a bit tough. Okay, so now we're almost dead. Come quick, we've got a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Anyone got a band-aid? We can heal up here, can we? Oh, we're healed. Excellent. So what's this buff do? +2 vitality and might. That's awesome. I'm really glad that there's not stuff in these. Oh, we're stuffing crates. I spoke too soon. Oh no, that means we've got to check every crate. Right, you come in. Let's get our formation on. Which is the front and which is the back? I'm assuming that's the front. Okay, that's good. You coming with us? Come on. Let's go. Stow your weapons or we'll find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Yeah, I'd drop him. Skewer him, worried not for me. Graven ash will protect. Disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his braces and cuirass. You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade? With a jerk of a knife, he sliced off a clump of Dratus's matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. You heard Drastus. Let him die. Yes, let's see Graven Ash protect him. A blood chanter smirks, making slicing gestures with her hand across her neck. I like you. Do you want to join our gang? Tyrell dashes the blade across Drastus' throat. Blood gushes out from the commander's neck, drowning out his final words. Tyrell points the bloody knife towards you. Death to Kairos! Death to the Archons! The moment Dratus' body falls to the ground, his disfavoured soldiers pounce forward, quickly reducing the Oathbreaker to a bloody mess. Dratus' death will be a setback. He was a fine steward of this steadfast. Aurora swallows her lips, pursed in anger. But with the losses we sustained in this war, I am the next in command. I will aspire to be I can aspire myself to be half the leader Dratus was. One of the soldiers found some mage blaver on the Oathbreakers. Aurora holds up a rolled sheet of parchment. I figured you'd been trained in letters. Could perhaps... Aurora looks down at the papers, her face blushing, but quickly thrusts the sheath towards you. So literacy is rare in the north. Very few disfavoured soldiers know more than a few written words. Okay, we'll have a look. Repeating the same message in different written scripts, the parchments explain the Vedrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kairos' Archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed in any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's well. So it's recruitment material. We're trying to bring more traitors to the fight. There were likely other groups trying to flee the valley. We can rest knowing we stopped this group. It's a shame it was such a higher cost. The Archons are expecting you at a disfavoured war camp. When you're ready to leave, exit by the southeast gate and keep going through the foothills. Well, I was born ready. Prisoners from the Tarkix clan. He's not just any Oathbreaker, he's one of their leaders. Aurora signals to her men by dragging her hand across her neck. No mercy for those who foment rebellion. Find a post, string him up. If his wounds don't kill him, first starvation and infection will do the rest. All must be given a chance to find absolution in service to the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points the finger at the disfavoured officer. And you know full well this has been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. I tire of this nonsense. You keep reciting these Oathbreakers. If you keep recruiting these Oathbreakers and you fail to inflict order, then they defect, and we have to fight them all over again. I will not let another one of these South knobs come back to haunt us. Well, I insist. This Oathbreaker be taken to the Voice of Nerat, leaving us as an impasse. Fortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. Well, guess what I'm going to go for? The chanter turns to you, an expectant smile across her face. So what say you? What should become of this prisoner? Execute him. Immediately. Happily, this one will pay for Drastus and all my other brothers and sisters that perished here at Vendrian's Wall. Aurora nods to a nearby warrior. You heard the Fatebinder, kill him. But make an example of him. Find a post that's not in use and string him up. Aurora gives you a solemn nod. Until next time, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. No point in keeping you. She snaps a salute. For the glory of Kairos! Excellent. Who are you? Need supplies? Not really. We've only just started. I trust you be granted proper stewardship for the goods you're peddling. You see, Fatebinder, I think so. I've been handed these bits of scripts. But I'm not a woman of letters. Numbers are my strength. Let me see. Certainly. Cursory read indicates the merchant is granted unlimited right to trade. Where did you get these? Harchinam Bronze acquired these on my behalf. From Archon's Tunan's agents, I believe. Her expression shows deep concern. Do you see any issue? Well, it looks like we've got a slight problem here. I don't know what. A problem? How can that be? I paid a span's profit for this journalist. What kind of problem is there? You have a right to trade as part of an active war effort. Currently at sea, our armies are unwilling to fight. Do you see the problem? Oh, I see the problem. Let's skip some steps in this dance, shall we? She holds up her hand with a string of copper rings dangling from her fingers. A donation to the court. Call it a proper fine. Call it a tribute to our protection. Just call off your game if you say yes. That'll do nicely. We've gained wrath with Scarlet Chorus. That's the most honest extortion I've suffered all year. Now, if you don't mind, we're through. Safe journey. I'll tell you what, each time I do something really evil, I'm going to do an evil laugh. And we'll see how evil the laugh gets. Do you need something? Seen anything interesting? Of course she has. She's been at war. Okay. Good fighting with you. It's been real. I'm just going to look at everything. I'm very sorry. I'm very curious about this world. Where's that spell weaver gone? Is it gone, is it? Right, we need to go. I said east, didn't I? Did I say east? It's not west. Let's have a look at the map. Oh, it's probably down here. Where's my friend gone? She'd stop wandering off, woman. Right, where do we get out? How do we get out? Please? We need to get out. We go down here. Oh, there we go. When it's an isometric map, you have 4 choices. Up, down, left, or right. How's it hanging, mate? You alright? You good? Can we do a bit of taunting? You there! End this, I beg you! You make a better warning to others while you're still twitching. Good. Okay. It took us 2 hours. Wow. So it's good that you regenerate after each fight. That's a bonus. Because there's nothing worse than coming out of one fight and then having to go into another. Right, this has been a good introduction to the world of Tyranny. This has been Pinky at Pinky's Palace, and thank you for stopping by and watching us play this absolutely insidiously evil game in which I am going to be a complete and utter